more about him, I thought I'd give you guys an idea of why I have him in the first place. So when I was 14, I was noticing that I was having some problems with my eyesight. I was in the 8th grade, coming in from gym class, and as soon as I got into the locker room, I noticed my eyes starting to flicker, almost like kind of the flickering style of Christmas lights. So that became concerning. Started talking to my mom about what was going on, and initially we went to my ophthalmologist, who sent me to 2 or 3 other specialists because they just assumed that I was making these things up. So by the time I finally got to MAOM, I was diagnosed with a form of retinitis pigmentosa called cone rod dystrophy. And the interesting thing about this diagnosis is that it's supposed to be a genetically inherited disease, but I'm the only one in my family that has it, or any other eye-related condition. So what that means, retinitis pigmentosa or cone rod dystrophy, essentially is that the rods and the cones, or what handles the light receptors of the cell, of the eye, as well as the dark receptors of the cell and color. So right now my rods, what control nighttime vision as well as color, are significantly decreased. And slowly my cones, which are considered to reflect the light that comes in, like through this room right now, those will also continue to decrease and lead to total blindness, in a textbook version of what's happening. So what that means for me is, since these cones and rods are located in the center of the vision, or the visual field, when I'm looking down the center of this room, this whole center area is essentially a blur. And I can see, I'll do a demo with my hand so you guys can get an idea. Like, I can see my hand here, kind of disappears, don't see it at all. Nothing here. And then similar, it'll pop up on this side.
Just the important people you're seeing.
Just the important people.
Us over here.
Yeah, exactly. So basically from the time I got diagnosed when I was 14, all the way until I was in my 20s and a sophomore in college, I really wasn't affected by my eye disease at all, other than the fact that I had it. But I kind of learned to ignore it in those days and kind of, in a sense of denial, pushed it off to the side, thinking, it wasn't gonna come and get me and I would get over it. But actually fairly quickly, I would say it felt like overnight when I was in, like I said, my sophomore year of college. I noticed that my nose was becoming really close to the paper all of a sudden. I couldn't read normal text that I had been able to read. And in a little bit of a lapse of judgment, I thought that I could just go get my eyes checked. I head back to MAOM and they hooked me up with a new pair of glasses. But instead of the glasses, I walked out of MAOM with a diagnosis of legal blindness. So at that point, being a sophomore in college, I'm going to backtrack. I'm trying to fold the story of my eyesight and my disability into where I'm going to end up with, my journey through acupuncture school. So at the point I got this diagnosis, I was studying exercise science. I had always been interested in health and trying to help people in that way. But the more I got involved with personal training, exercise, nutrition, trying to do all the right things for me and my patient or clients at the time, I realized that there was more to it than just diet and exercise, and we had to look more at the full spectrum of health, being who you surround yourself with, your sleep, what you eat, what's best for you to eat, just a whole multitude of other things that weren't in my textbooks at the time. And then personally, outside of my own vision loss, I was having issues with my own health. Not to bore you with details, but my menstrual cycle was so bad that I would often need to essentially go to the emergency room because the pain was just that severe. And to go into a Western medical setting and be told that everything is perfect, everything checks out, and there's nothing that he can do for you, is a little bit dismissive. So I decided at that point that there needed to be a different way for me to explore my own health. And from that moment, I decided to kind of recruit the help of a chiropractor first, who then recommended acupuncture to me. And when I was going for acupuncture, I kind of, not assumed, but was hoping that it would be a miracle cure for the vision that I had lost, as well as to stabilize the vision that I could lose. And obviously that didn't happen. I still have Kennedy, but what it did do for me, I feel like, is profound in other ways. Mostly the health issues that I mentioned had completely stabilized, knock on wood. But additionally, which I think is even more powerful, is that the anxiety, depression, and lack of control I felt in losing my vision had been alleviated through the support and what acupuncture was able to provide me, is that sense of peace and understanding that this is my life, and I became okay with it through, I credit acupuncture to being okay with it. And so, a little bit of a background about acupuncture, because initially when I was going to study it, I had no idea about the strong community, or how should I say this? The acupuncture in Japan is very well rooted in the blind community, meaning that in Japan there are whole schools devoted to blind practitioners, and you actually have to be blind in order to be accepted to one of the schools in Japan to study acupuncture. And I had no idea of this when I was initially putting in my applications and doing the interviews and all of that. So I thought that when I would enter into school that, I'd think I was crazy, like this blind girl with needles, how is this gonna work? But when I got there, their perceptions of me were pretty much the opposite of my own perceptions of myself, and they were excited to have me and told me of the history of the acupuncture world in Japan. They're like, this is something that you're going to be great at, which up until that point, people like me, we don't hear that very often, so it was extremely encouraging to finally get that kind of approval from something that I was so interested in. So that's pretty cool. And another interesting part about the blind community in Japan, which I think strikes a really big dichotomy between different cultures, is that my husband and I were in Japan a little while ago, maybe 2 years, and as soon as we got off the flight, we noticed these little bumpy strips all up and down in the airports, up the stairs, all around the outside, like they were everywhere. And I was actually kind of annoyed by them, thinking like, what is this? It's like another obstacle. But come to find that it was actually a tool to help the blind navigate the subways, the airports, everything like that, similar to what's in the United States right now. Like you might notice the tactile strips at the ends of curbs, where it kind of delineates the end of a sidewalk. They essentially have that stripped through an entire sidewalk, not just on the ends. So I think that strikes a very interesting perspective on how we view not only the blind in the United States, but also people with disabilities in general, and what lengths people in other countries go to kind of promote success with people not only blind but disabled in general. So I'll get off that soapbox. When I was in acupuncture school, I had a little bit of a crazy commute, if you will, to actually get to the school. I was living in Melrose. My school was in Newton, so I had to jump on the Orange Line, get off at downtown crossings, walk to the bus, jump on the bus, walk a half mile to the school. So I was fairly dedicated to what I wanted to do, but the only problem was that through the snow, through the darkness with my lack of vision, and everything else in between, I was starting to feel like my ability to travel on my own I wasn't comfortable anymore. My white cane was turning into a hiking stick at times, or a hiking pole, which isn't what it's made for. So I decided to apply to get Kennedy, and it took 3 years. So the reason why normally for guide dog schools, it should take anywhere between 3 and 6 months. Some people will apply for their dog and get one, essentially get approved for training the next month. But for me, Kennedy is not only a regular guide dog for walking, but he also runs. So they had to be able to find a dog that would be able to keep up with me both when I'm walking, when I'm running, be able to navigate through the city with me, and not be scared of any of those things, which is pretty cool, and he's awesome. So, I guess what I should do from here is open it up for any questions you guys have, so I know which way we can turn this.